Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today we're highlighting a previous mud hole. We call these frog ponds. This one was about, I don't know, had about a foot of water in it and about 8 foot of mud. And over the years, the previous folks that ran, even before we came around, there's people that ran livestock on it, and just the seepage from above it, it just filled in. It was a muck, what we call a muck frog pond. And so Johnny, my dozer, came in here, dozer operator, and he spent yesterday kind of clearing the mud out, and he cut a V and got the water trailing out back here behind. And it was so muddy, and his dozer, he's a little bit afraid he's going to get the dozer stuck, and so he took a Kubota skid steer with tracks on it, and he dug the mud out of there. You can see it back here. There's I don't know, there's probably, if I had to guess, there's probably 10 or 12 dump truck loads of mud there. And so we'll let that mud just kind of settle out, and in a couple years, maybe not even that long, maybe a year after all the water gets out of that, we'll come back in here with a dozer. You see, that's some really good soil. That's got a lot of muck in it, a sediment from the years of just stuff running into it, And so that's really good fertilizer to take and spread out here on your land. But you can't do it when it's muddy. You gotta let the water drain out of it. And the cows, they'll get up on there and they'll stomp around on it once it gets dry, and they'll slough a lot of that off. But then we'll bring a dozer in and spread that. But see, John, this was just it wasn't much of a pond. Matter of fact, when we grazed this particular paddock here, we put a wire around that pond to keep them even from drinking on it. It was nasty. Just had a lot of nasty sediment and algae. It was just an awful pond. And I was kind of scared of this little pond. Actually lost a calf in it. We had a calf go in there and get stuck, and that's how deep the mud was. And why the calf went in there, I don't know, but it did. And it was winter time, and it got stuck in there. I found it the next morning. I was just sick. From that time on, we never let any animals around that thing. We put a wire on it. But this one is small enough. We're only going to be on this pond for half a day. And so we're enthusiastic about what it's going to look like. We're going to get the boys and I will get over here and get some seed put on this, and the hay. And we already got a little bit of fertilizer down. You can see the white specks there. And probably get a lime truck in here to lime it. Folks, you got to get this, the most important part of a pond. We're going to be building a bigger one next week, but I'll highlight it even more because that one's going to have a pipe in it. This one doesn't. And actually, Johnny's right over that hill over there digging out another old frog pond. He's got the dozer going hard and just trying to get some water. Folks, if you've got these little ponds on your farm that don't hold anything, it's, to me, if you've got the pond, there's no grass growing in, it's just a mud hole. If you put a little money in it, you can get you a pretty good water source. And if you get in a drought, and these little ponds that are scattered around your farm, you can run out of grass before you'll run out of water. You're never going to run out of water. And right now, there's no laws here in Missouri anyway that prohibits you from building a pond and storing water on your farm. And once you catch this rainwater, that's going to fill up with rainwater. And so it's your water. It comes out of the sky. Missouri gets about 38 to 40 inches of rain a year. And so it may take it a year or so, because see, this one doesn't have much watershed above it. So this one, I'm anticipating, could take up to 2 years. It all depends. I mean, if you get saturated ground and you get a 3 or 4 inch rain, you'd be surprised. These ponds can come up a couple feet. It's just amazing to me how quickly they can fill up. But I'm standing in the spillway right here. So the spillway is a full 2 foot lower than there's the dam over there. So the water will come out here first. And so this is the area that you want to really make sure you get a good seeding on. I mean heavy seeded. From that pond, exit all the way through here. And right here's the most critical part, going down that hill. And so you want to make sure you get this seeded well, get you some fertilizer on it, whether it's manure or whatever. Just get some grass growing on, preferably something that forms a heavy sod. And of course, we have the best one here in all, and that's Kentucky 31. So that's what we'll seed right here. And I'm gonna bring a lime truck in here. I want to make sure after spending the money on this pond, you know, that I get a good stand of grass on it. So when we come in here, the cattle will be drinking from this pond, but we're gonna run a wire right here around the edge of that dam, all the way around. And so the cows can drink from it. Isaac, run down in there. I just want to show people. There he goes. So that kind of gives you a scale how big it is. Yep. You got water there behind you. So, I don't know, we got a little bit of a spring there in the side of that thing. So, heck, who knows, it may fill up in a couple weeks from the spring. I kind of doubt it. But we're supposed to get a rain this weekend, so we're anxiously awaiting that. We're going to get this thing seeded, strawed, get some lime on it, and we're just going to sit back and wait for it to fill up. But I love what Johnny did here. He's got me a nice dam. He tapered it out nicely. It's about a 4-to-1 ratio on the back, which means for every 4 foot it drops maybe a foot. I can mow that. You know, I can get a tractor on that, keep the sprouts and the trees from growing up on the dam, and this is going to work good. So I'll be covering the next pond to be built. Is going to be one, a bigger one, and hopefully I'll be able to get some footage on that, and we'll see how it goes from there. So anyway, that's pond building here at Green Pastures Farm, and cleaning out mud holes and making water. Making water. Folks, I've never regretted spending money on ponds, fence, and maybe bringing in some fertility in the form of hay, or getting the land, all right here. There's a little bit of lime that we had hauled on this farm. I just, it's going to make you grow grass that looks like that over there. I mean, you talk about some beautiful forage. Look at that. And that was grazed about 3 weeks ago. It's coming back like gangbusters. But we didn't graze it down short. And I think that's the key. Especially in the fall. Remember, every day that you can grow grass in the fall across your whole farm, just because you didn't strip it down real low with the cows or the sheep, that's putting money in your pocket from not having to feed as much hay. I'd a lot rather graze than have to put out a bale for a large group of animals. It just gets really, really old. Makes the winters go by really long. There's that Kubota he used to dig the mud out. It looks like a kind of a small machine from the back or from a distance, but I'm telling you what, when you get up to this thing, it's a beast. And Johnny can run that thing like you wouldn't believe. He can make her sing. It's got rubber tracks on it. But you get a picture at the back of it here. That thing's a lot wider than, that's a heavy duty Kubota there. And like Johnny said, if he gets that thing hung in the pond, he can hook onto it with that dozer and snake it out of there. You get that 40,000 pound dozer stuck in a mud hole, you're not going to pull it out with that. You're going to need another dozer. And now you're talking, $500 to $1,000 to get somebody to haul one out here and pull it out. So I thought Johnny did he's been hung before, and it's not a pleasant deal. It's an expensive proposition. So he brought that dude along, and kind of glad he did. Says we didn't get it hung. So anyway, I'm going to sign off of here. This is Great Judy at Green Pastures Farm, Everyone have a great day, and remember, we'll see you all down the road, and hit that subscribe button on the way out, and be coming with you before long with some more pond building.